What most people don't know about the YWCA is that it really is a community change organization. It's a social justice organization. Right here in Pinellas County, it's really been one of the leading organizations to address issues around social and racial justice. As early as the 1920s, the YWCA created economic opportunities by providing employment for women. And during the 1950s, we were the first organization to hold interracial youth conferences. And during the 1960s, during the Civil Rights Movement, the YWCA operated public cafeterias. So when you think about its history, when you look back over it, it really was a leading change agent right here at the local level. And over the years, the organization continues that legacy by providing programming to support women, children, and families.
The YW has always been a place where women knew they could go if they had needs. And that's been different needs over time. Historically, some of the YWs provided food, lodging, in some cases emergency housing, and in some cases transient as women were traveling through the country. They knew that they'd be safe. That's probably the hallmark, I think, of the YW, is that it's always been a safe place for women to go and find the services that they need or the resources that they need.
At Talladega College, one of the things that they emphasized was being involved in human rights and going back to communities, particularly in the South, and making contributions to the community. I worked for the school system, and an invitation came through for someone from the Division of Curriculum and Instruction, where I worked, to become a member of the board, the YWCA board. I can remember that I was the only African American on the board at that time, but I do remember the warm reception I received, and I remember how committed and how passionate the people were on that board to make the policies that governed at that time, and to make certain that the YW moved forward.
My story with the YWCA started 30 years ago when I took my first swimming lessons at the YWCA in Knoxville, Tennessee. From there, I went on to participate in their youth leadership training program called Y-Teens. That was a national program for middle schoolers and high schoolers. And I learned what a board of directors was, what it was like to work with a bunch of women and try to make decisions that affected our community. And that's really where I learned what it means to be a volunteer and serve your community.
I got involved with the YWCA of Tampa Bay through a dear friend, Willette Givens McKinney. Regretfully, she passed away not too long after I started serving on the board, but I pushed past my grieving process with losing her and got a chance to serve at the regional level for the Southeast region of the YWCA. And in that particular experience, got to learn a lot about issues that impact girls, young women, and women throughout the world. Got a chance to serve as the vice president of the region, and really got involved with a number of education, programming, policy, advocacy focused around our mission of eliminating racism and empowering women. And I cannot tell you what a fantastic experience that was. That experience alone, serving at the local level and then the region, and then impacting eventually issues that impact women around the world, was actually phenomenal. I can't even begin to describe what the YWCA of Tampa Bay meant to my own personal development as a woman and my leadership development as well.
Well, it's part of our community, and I'm very, very impressed and love the St. Petersburg community. And I see it going on, filling its niche of finding things that need doing and doing them, and not being worried about getting our hands dirty in any way, shape, or form, but the service is the guide. I would hope it continues doing exactly what it has been doing and what I've been talking about, and that is finding needs and addressing them so that we have a strong community. I think we have one now, and of course there will be changes that come down the pike, and we need to be ready to change with it.
One area of the YWCA that has touched me personally, where I want to give back and educate women, would be violence against women. And I think it's a topic that people are afraid to talk about. And you see this picture of only a heavily beaten woman as domestic violence, and that is not just what domestic violence is about. So the Week Without Violence, I'm looking forward to, and I'm looking forward to sharing my story and empowering young women to know what the signs are, know what to look out for, and to empower themselves to take care of themselves so they don't feel trapped in a situation.
So what I'm most excited about is the YWCA's future. It's a very exciting future because we're really going to be focusing on our two hallmark programs, which is women's economic empowerment and racial justice. If you've been in this community, you may have attended one of our recent events called Community Conversations, where we've been bringing people together in this community to talk about race in a very healthy way. They've been very, very successful, and we don't seem to be having those fast enough for our community, which I think is wonderful because that means that the community is ready for that type of healing. Our women's economic empowerment is extremely exciting. We plan to have programs where women come together and listen to various speakers that really will begin to arm women with the tools that they need to be their highest and best selves, not just in terms of what we do for a living or as women, but economically. We found over the years that many times women stay in abusive relationships and unhealthy dynamics, primarily because of finances. And so when we can arm women with the tools that they need to be strong financially, we feel that we are creating long-term opportunities for women to be highly self-sustained.